All right, good morning, you guys. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. What a crazy show yesterday we had in the markets. I mean, first thing, Bullard says something expecting, 0.5 basis wouldn't be enough. And then the market sold off yesterday, right about, mid-morning here. And it's just been on a roller coaster ride ever since. We had a firm with their social media department. They released earnings early and they finally released the results, and it wasn't that great. They missed on the great on revenue, but they just missed on EPS. And then you had Uber, halting their stock for news, and there was really nothing to. There was no news. There was no material news, just their financial data, blah blah blah, which is all fine and great for them. But that was a really odd move by Uber. So, so Uber kind of took a beating yesterday. Right after that, I mean, investors, especially traders, are not going to put up with that kind of garbage. But let's talk about what's going on. So, there's rumors and whispers going around that there's a potential emergency rate hike. I don't know. Obviously, I posted a screenshot yesterday, last night. Yes, it's a monthly meeting that they do have, but this one's going to be particularly important because they could do something like that. Now, it hasn't happened since, I believe, the year 2000. So not sure obviously I don't know what the Feds are going to do, but inflation's going to be a real issue, and it's going to be. The data came in worse than expected, so the market's not going to take that. So there's going to be a lot of fear on the streets there. I'm not saying that we should, go short the entire market, but I'm still obviously pretty bearish. Just looking at the charts, right? I mean, QQQ SPY, closed above the moving average 200 on Wednesday, which was good. And then the news came in and the market was kind of expecting, was very jubilant. And everybody was kind of just expecting that the data wasn't going to be that bad. And, life moves on and we're just going to go back to all-time highs. And that's just not the case. So we're here at 357 in the pre-market. Excuse me, got rejected off the moving average 200. You got a kind of this ugly gravestone doji on the daily chart here. I do expect a move lower today for sure. I think it'll pop over probably 359, 360 again, retesting those areas. Remember, 361 was a really tough area about 3 days ago, about 361 here. So right about here is where I suspect that we could probably bounce to, and then possibly fade into the day. So that's what I'm going to be watching today. Of course, let's talk about AFRM. Now, I get it. There's a lot of bulls out there on AFRM. Some of you folks believe that's a $100, $200 stock. At one point, I did. When they were on the upside, I was rooting for this company, man. I mean, a great company, obviously, but then you take a look at the financials and whatnot, and they are losing money. So it filled the gap. 48.17 is the bottom here. It hit 50 yesterday, trending here at $52, 51.50 lows of the pre-market, off about 40% from yesterday's high when they pre-released the earnings. And then what's interesting is because the way they worded their tweet was really bad. Their earnings wasn't that great. Yes, you had revenues. Yes, you have more customers. But more customers in a company like this doesn't signal a great economy overall. If people are using more AFRM, because why? Well, inflation. They can't afford things as much as they used to. So they have to rely on short-term borrowing, which isn't bad necessarily. It drives growth in companies, but that tells you kind of the story of consumers, whose living wages aren't going up with inflation. So my point is this: when it comes to AFRM, great company, bad fundamentals, bad business model, and in addition to that, it's not a stock that I would go long on, especially at these prices. It's way off the highs. People literally bought the dips here, all the way down. And when something is in a downtrend such as this, I'm not, I can't go buy the stock. Okay. Not at $52. Okay. My target is $40. All right. So maybe it won't happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But certainly the downtrend is going to affect any type of movement up north. You're going to have to need ton of volume. And I'm sure some people will start buying it up, try to get a bounce today. But eventually it gets shorted back down. I do think 40 is in the works. It held 50 yesterday, 48.17 is double bottom. So those are kind of key areas to watch for a firm. All right. So that's what I'll say about that. And the DDOG, all right, DataDog. Great earnings about yesterday, obviously, or the day before, Wednesday, after hours. 185 at the highs, currently at 175 right now. So it's kind of calmed down a little bit. You got a gap to fill down here. And this is kind of a good opportunity to go short or buy puts because as the tensions and the selling pressure in the market, this will obviously bring down the stock price back into the gap fill territory. You got a gap from, let's just say, 167 all the way to 156. So that's a pretty good short here. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great Friday, and I'll see you guys over the weekend. I will obviously post charts tomorrow morning, do some recap of my next week's sentiments. Feel free to join us at therocktrainingco.com, where I get all the information to our community first. All right. With that being said, all right. Have a good weekend.